Walk through any shopping centre in Britain in 2026 and you will see it everywhere. The designer bags, the newest smartphone, still warm from the upgrade. The gleaming car idling outside the coffee shop on the high street, and your brain does exactly what it was built to do. It whispers, "These people are wealthy." But the banks have a secret, and the secret is this. They have quietly designed a system where looking rich is the single most expensive way to stay poor. Because almost none of it is owned. Not really. That car is on finance. That phone is on a monthly contract. That sofa was buy now, pay later. What you are actually looking at when you walk down that high street is not wealth. It is a hologram of wealth. A perfect, shimmering image with no solid foundation underneath it. And the moment the monthly payments stop, the hologram flickers and the whole thing vanishes. Let me show you exactly how the cage was built, because once you see the bars, you can never unsee them. Start with what I call the subscription to air. For most of human history, if you wanted to breathe, you breathed for free. But the banks looked at British life and asked a very simple, very profitable question. What if we could turn everything into a monthly fee? And they did it. You no longer own your car, you subscribe to it. You no longer own your phone, you rent the permission to use it. Your furniture, your kitchen appliances, even your holidays are now sliced into 12 tidy monthly installments. You do not own your life anymore, you lease it. And the terrifying part is what happens if you ever stop paying. Miss enough monthly fees, and your entire world gets repossessed. The car off the drive, the sofa out the front door. You were never the owner, you were only ever a tenant in your own life. Now let us look at the biggest single trap in the whole machine, the PCP. Over 90% of new cars in Britain are now financed, and most of that is personal contract purchase. Here is how the trick works, and it is beautiful in its cruelty. You do not pay for the car, you pay for the depreciation, the value the car loses over 3 years. Your monthly payment feels wonderfully affordable because you are only renting the drop, but at the end of the 3 years, there is a wall waiting for you. It is called the balloon payment, and it is deliberately set just high enough that almost nobody can actually pay it. So what do? You do the only thing you can do. You hand the car back, you sign a new agreement, and you climb straight back onto the wheel for another 3 years. That is not an accident. That is the entire design. The balloon payment is not a way to buy the car. It is a trapdoor engineered to drop you into the next cycle of debt. This is your permanent monthly status tax, the price of looking like you have arrived, paid forever, to people you will never meet. Then there is the newer siphon, the Klarnafication of Britain. We have crossed a genuinely strange line. 1 in 3 young Brits now use buy now, pay later, not for a fridge, not for a laptop, but for groceries. For a £40 takeaway, for a pair of trainers, and here is the psychology the banks understand, and you must too. Financing a £40 meal feels like nothing. It is tiny, it is invisible, but that is precisely the danger of microdebt. It is not the size of any single payment that ruins you, it is what it does to your mathematical bandwidth. Your brain can only track so many open loops at once. When you have 11 different little payments, scattered across 4 different apps, all landing on different days, your mind simply gives up trying to do the arithmetic. You lose the ability to see the total, and a person who cannot see the total is a person the banks can farm forever. Now, here is the part almost nobody explains properly, so pay attention. Let us talk about the magnetic floor. Imagine your debt is a floor made of powerful magnets, and you are wearing a heavy pair of iron boots. When your debt is small, the magnetic pull is gentle. You can lift your feet, walk around, get on with your life. But as the interest rate rises, and the average British credit card now charges around 22%, that magnetic pull gets stronger, much stronger. At 22%, the floor is dragging at your boots with enormous force. Every single step you try to take towards saving into an ISA or building a SIP for your retirement now costs you 10 times the energy it should, because before your money can move up, it has to fight free of that magnetic floor. And this is the cruelest trick of high interest. Your minimum payment does not shrink the debt at all, it only covers the interest. You pay, and the principal balance just sits there, immortal, pinning your boots to the minimum payment line while your whole life walks in place. Ah, you say, But I am clever. I will just move my debt to a 0% card. And congratulations, you have just joined the game of musical chairs. For years, the balance transfer was a genuine escape hatch. Shift the debt to a new card, pay no interest for a while, breathe. But in 2026, the music is playing faster and the room is running out of chairs. The transfer fees are rising, the interest-free windows are shrinking. And every time you move the debt, you pay a fee to move it, and the deadline to clear it arrives sooner than the last one. You are not escaping the debt. You are just carrying it from one chair to another, paying a toll each time, waiting for the moment the music stops, and someone is always left standing. Let me paint the emotional truth of it. Any random morning, the start of the work week, you are decent at your job. You earn what your parents would have called a proper professional salary. The money lands in your account, and it is gone almost before you have finished your first coffee. Rent or mortgage, car finance, phone, the 3 BNPL apps, the minimum payments, you watch it flow through you, not to you, and slowly a very uncomfortable thought arrives. Your salary is not really yours. It is a transit point, a layover. Money simply changes planes in your account on its way from your employer to the bank's shareholders. And here is where the state joins the banks at the table. The success tax of 2026. You decide, sensibly, that the answer is to earn more, get the raise, pay the debt down. Except in Britain, right now, there is a quiet force called fiscal drag. The tax thresholds have been frozen while wages and prices climb, which means more and more ordinary people are quietly dragged into the higher rate band without anyone voting for it. So you get your raise, and on the top slice of it, HMRC takes 40% in income tax, and national insurance takes its cut on top. The extra money you fought for to escape the wheel arrives shrunk, and so the wheel keeps turning at exactly the same speed. This is not just a home counties problem for high earners. Fiscal drag is reaching school teachers and nurses now. The system is engineered so that even your success feeds the machine. So what do you actually do? This is the manual override, and it is simpler than they want you to believe. First, run a direct debit audit. Sit down, open your banking app, and look at every single recurring payment. You will find invisible leaks, subscriptions you forgot, trials that quietly became charges, memberships you have not used since last winter. Kill them. Every one you cancel is a tiny hole in the hull, sealed shut. Then, choose your weapon. The debt snowball means you pay off your smallest debt first, for the pure psychological momentum of a win. And momentum, when you are exhausted, is worth more than maths. The debt avalanche means you attack your highest interest debt first, usually that 22% card, because that is the strongest magnet. And killing it frees your boots the fastest. Snowball for motivation, avalanche for efficiency. Pick one, just do not stand still. Because here is where it all lands. Wealth in Britain is no longer about what you carry, not the bag, not the phone, not the badge on the bonnet of the car. Those are the costume of the cage. Real wealth is about what you own, outright, with no monthly fee attached, that nobody can ever repossess. And true freedom? True freedom is the day you step off the consumer wheel entirely, and you finally understand the thing the banks spend billions hoping you never work out. The most valuable thing you can possibly buy is not the car, or the watch, or the upgrade. It is your own silence. The quiet of a month, when nothing is owed to anyone. Go and buy that instead. If you learned something, like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.